What's up YouTube, Christo here, and I have another collection A to Z for you, starting with some Leonard Cohen. But before we get into that, I've got a few recent pickups. I think I even mentioned in one of my last videos that I was gonna just show what I picked up recently because I wasn't gonna have enough for a haul video, like exclusively a haul video. And lo and behold, I went and picked up a whole bunch of stuff very recently. And there's actually, I think, one or two things I got coming in the mail. But yeah, let's get into some recent pickups. Captain Beefheart, Clear Spot. This is I believe the original German pressing of it. And a buddy of mine, one that I can't say he got me into Beefheart, but I met him soon after I got into Beefheart, and he gave me a little bit of guidance, and he always talked about Clear Spot and Lick My Decals Off Baby. The former, which I have and have had for a while. This one I didn't really know much about it, hadn't really heard it until quite recently. After I picked this up online, I was listening to it online. Just seeing if I had made a good purchase, and yeah, I'm pretty happy. Beefheart's kind of hit and miss with me, but that's a pretty good record. X, Under the Big Black Sun. Not the X album that I'd say, I don't know if I should say it's not my favorite, but I should perhaps say that it's the one I've not listened to the most. I don't like their earlier punky stuff. I like, strangely, their later poppy punk stuff. Just because it's quite unconventional for both pop and punk at the time. And, I don't even want to talk about pop punk today. But, yeah, kind of looking forward to listening to this. Got this for a really good price. Original Canadian pressing, as I recall. It's in pretty good condition, so gonna throw that on soon. Come on, my dog's looking at me, wants to get invited up on the sofa. Tim Hecker, I had a ton of Tim Hecker in my last haul. I shouldn't say a ton. I had at least one or two albums in the video, but I think I've gotten like 3 or 4 Tim Hecker albums in like the last, 6 months or so. Been really big on him. This is very new, the North Water Score. And interestingly, it has both the CBC and BBC listed down here. So they had something involved with it. But yeah, it is a collaboration between Tim Hecker and I believe like a British filmmaker. I don't know anything about the soundtrack or the film, but I just picked this up today. Excited to hear that. I've been really into my ambient and minimal recently, which I kind of went overboard with this guy, but I fell in love pretty quickly with Mr. Sam Gendel. I was Gendel, I don't know, however it's pronounced, but yeah. So this is DRM. He's released a lot of albums in a very short period of time. And I have to say, in the short amount of time I've known him, I definitely like his more recent stuff, his newer stuff. DRM's kind of silly, kind of goofy, as you can probably tell from the cover. Minimal, fourth world, avant-garde, kind of like neo-soul, jazz, R&B, very, very cool sound. Really like him a lot. He's a saxophonist primarily. This was the album very recently that just, hit one of my record stores locally and kind of got me interested in him. I love the album art. When I looked him up, I found out, or I saw that he was on Leaving Records, who I follow just because they're pretty closely connected to, in one way or another, I guess, Deus Records. Like, they're not sibling labels or anything, but they're both out of LA. They're both doing like indie retro music, or, kind of unconventional pop music. And this is incredible. I love this record. I was listening to it all weekend on Spotify, and yeah, I picked up the record today. I had ordered it and I got to pick it up today. And this is definitely the most obscure of them. This is his same Sam Gendel, his very recent, I don't know, soundtrack, if that's the right word. He basically went to Iceland with a filmmaker, Marcella, and then something very Polish for a last name, and basically filmed Sam playing the AE30, which as I understand, the AE30 is the name of this electronic digital like woodwind instrument. I don't know. I'm not a musician by any means, especially when you get into like, you know, brass and woodwinds and stuff like that. But anyways, so this is just a cassette for that. Very wispy and minimal. Pretty cool. I've seen like there's clips at least of the documentary online. Looks kind of cool. So finally, let's get into it. Unfortunately, the only Leonard Cohen album I have here is probably my least favorite of the ones I own. Not that it's bad, it's just that I had to leave behind my Songs of Leonard Cohen, original Canadian pressing, my Songs from a Room, original Canadian pressing, and my I'm Your Man, which was a more modern reissue, but that's literally like my 3 favorite Leonard Cohen records. And I don't really know too much about this. I think this is live or a compilation or something. I don't know. Always kind of got looked over because of my other Cohen albums that I prefer so much. Sam Cooke, this is the best thrift store find I have ever found. I have been going to thrift stores looking for records for 5-6 years, like almost since I came back to Canada, and I find some cool things. I find some novelty things. I find things with cool covers or kind of like certain genres that I collect. But this is actually the best in terms of like, it's just a really good album. Don't think it's really worth much, but it's got some classic tracks on there. Chain Gang, Only 16, Cupid. Yeah, really good album. I think I paid $2 for it, so very happy with that one. Cows. Okay, so this is my introduction to Cows. Daddy Has a Tail. Years after it was released, years and years after it was released. Says it's on yellow vinyl. It's more of an orangey kind of color, because like that's yellow. That's definitely not yellow, but whatever. Anyways, it's almost like that kind of like neon fluorescent American cheese slice color or something. But yeah, that was my introduction to Cows. Actually, a different guy that I lived with, told me to check them out. And, you know, eventually when I got on my torrents, I did some Cows, and, you know, this was the first album I listened to, and I just absolutely loved it. It was so ridiculous, lo-fi, heavy, noisy, strange, weird, odd, and yeah, just kind of been pretty obsessed or, you know, interested in Cows since then. I don't have any of my AmRep silk-screened. I think I have 3 Cows silk-screened albums. They're not here, so I'm not going to talk about them too much. Cutting Stunts, it's good. I understand why this is kind of a fan favorite, a Cows fan favorite. Blue vinyl. What was this? MVD? Who did this one? Who reissued? Yeah, MVD. Probably a fan favorite, but I think I'm gonna take Daddy Has a Tail. I think the B-side of this is a little kind of, it's not as incredible as the A-side. Sexy Peace Story. I even kind of said it like how he says it in the song, but yeah, this is incredible. This is probably, start to finish, probably my favorite Cows record. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and say that. I do really like a couple others, but I'll wait until, I'll make you hang on to check out when I get my silk screen AmRep pressings back. But yeah, I think this is start to finish great. 39 Lashes. It's a cover song. I don't know the band. I never heard of the band that they covered, but it's great. Everything else in here is awesome. Sexy Peace Story as well is such a great song. F It and Impudent Snobs, probably, I'm gonna admit, my least favorite Cows album, like, you know, a notable Cows album. There's a few that I'm not overly familiar with, but not that it's bad, it just doesn't grab me and hold me like the others do. And this is a European pressing, so it's got, I don't know, slightly different colors on it. This is cool. I actually picked this up on a whim. It's, you know, to be fair, there's not a heck of a lot on it. It's a Melvin's Cows AmRep 12-inch split on clear with some splattering. But it is literally just like Melvin's. I believe it's just like Melvin's doing a Cows cover. Yeah, Melvin's doing Dog Island. And then just Cows Chow, which is on Daddy Has a Tail. I think it was $30, which, you know, for a rare AmRep album, it's not bad. It's really not bad, but you just don't see these come up for sale used. It's kind of cool, but whatever. I don't really put it on. Cracker. I mentioned these guys when I was talking about Camper Van Beethoven, as Camper Van Beethoven essentially turned into Cracker, Dave Lowry. I heard this on CD when I was in junior high school, and I just loved it. Really, really loved it. And a couple years ago, they re-released this on MOV, music on vinyl. Really good pressing. Really, 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 really like this record a lot. Takes me back to junior, senior high school. I don't even know how many times I listened to this. You know, just put this on and then play Super Nintendo for like 4 hours straight or something. Cramps, another one. Unfortunately, I don't have my special rare Cramps pressings with me. Not that these are anything to sniff at. This is the Psychedelic Jungle. Who did this? Drastic Plastic, was it? Yeah, Drastic Plastic reissued this a couple years ago, and I was very lucky to get a Goo Goo Muck Green. I think that's what it was called, a Goo Goo Muck Green pressing of it. I do actually have the sealed baggie that it comes in, but I think it's in storage somewhere just because it gets ripped and damaged, destroyed, and I like collecting, you know, the hype stickers and the, you know, the bags and stuff they come in. Gravest Hits, modern pressing. All my other Cramps albums are OG pressings, I swear. I was thinking this was red pressing, but it's a black 200 gram, I think it is. And again, I do have the bag that it came in, the sealed bag that it came in, but it is not with it. Crux of Ox, Mona. Unfortunate story about why I picked this up. So there's a gentleman who recently passed away who was a really, really, really big part of the Hamilton metal and indie scene back in the 90s, running into the, you know, 2010s. But it just kind of came out that he had terminal cancer. And I've been into his band forever. I've met him a few times, been to a couple parties with him and stuff. And as soon as I found that out, I was like, you know what? I need to grab some of his rare stuff because it's just going to be gone forever. So I did actually get this for quite cheap. I'm happy. I don't know if it's going to come around again for much cheaper. But this is like a, I don't know, metal, dark metal, doom, sludge kind of sound. I haven't listened to it yet, I completely admit. Current 93, Dog's Blood Rising. This is an early, if not first pressing. I don't know who pressed it. I really don't know a heck of a lot about early current pressings, but That's kind of cool. I've got a little newsletter in there or something. Layla Records, perhaps. But yeah, I don't know this current 93 album that well. It's got Steven Stapleton on the back cover, which is kind of cool. I kind of forgot that he was involved with current 93 back in the day. Current 93, they're a band, a group, a collective, whatever you want to call them, that have just been around for so long. They're, you know, other than Mr. Tibet, they've changed so much. Swastikas for Naughty and Crooked Crosses for the Nodding God. I have to admit I like Swastikas for Naughty a little bit more, but I got this. This is a double LP colored vinyl. Yeah, it's all gatefold. I'm not even going to get it out of the sleeve. But yeah, it's like, I don't know, green and brown pressing or something. Good. I don't know. My more desirable current era for me is more modern. Which I say and then pull out a current album that's modern and struggle to remember the name. The Stars on Their Horsies. Okay, I always confuse that with this, The Moon's at Your Door. This one I like. This is a really cool, it's almost like someone reading a story over top of really strange, eerie music. I haven't played this in quite a long time, but yeah, I can't really remember much about this. I bought a whole bunch of modern current pressings right around the same time, and again, unfortunately, my favorite current album is not here. Aeons and Honeysuckles, is this one? Yeah. Oh, Honeysuckle Aeons, close. Had most of the words in there right, but yeah, Honeysuckle Aeons. Cursed. So going back to Tony, who was the gentleman who sadly passed away recently. He was in a band called Shallow, North Dakota, who are just legendary in Canadian sludge, doom, lo-fi metal scenes. And one of the guys that was in Shallow, Dan, was or is in this band called Cursed. Little more of like a, I don't know, metalcore sound, much faster and abrasive sounding than Shallow ever were. Shallow were just very brutally slow, which is my sound. I picked this up. This was an add-on, you know, a couple years ago in a Discogs order, I believe. John Davis. So speaking of John Davis, I follow Lou Barlow on Instagram, and it sounds like he's trying to get the original Folk Implosion back together. And I got really into Lou Barlow and Lou Barlow projects in around 2009, 2010, and discovered that John Davis has a whole bunch of solo albums, and in fact some of them are really damn good and really cheap. You can find them for really, really cheap prices. And this is a good one. There's some really weird novelty songs on here, like Jeep Cherokee, and I'm just I think it's on CD. I have another one, something about baseball. I can't even remember what it's called. It's like, I hit it out of the park. That's like the line that I remember from it. But yeah, just very bizarre kind of esoteric lyrics and stuff. I freaked out like a big truck and stuff like that. Yeah, I really like John Davis. I think he's got a really cool voice, and I really like his like lo-fi stuff. I'm pretty sure I have another one of his records in Ontario. Not including this one, because this is Room for Space, John Davis and Dennis Kalassi, whatever that is. I remember this cover, but I'd never really heard it before. Very cheap. You can pick up most of his records for like $5 or $10. Morris Day. I think I bought this at a record show in the recent time that I had seen Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, where they argue about Morris Day in the Times all the time. And this is $5, and I was like, you know what? I don't own any Morris Day records. I'm just gonna grab one. It's good. He's kind of like a poor man's Prince or something. Like, he's good. He's fun. It's a good, party album to put on Daydreamin', by the way, if you couldn't tell. Nothing special, just a good cheapie. I think in the rest is going to be filled up by Dead Kennedys or related. Plastic surgery disasters. Which one is this? Is this the double or just the plastic surgery? Yeah, this is just the plastic surgery. I can never remember because, what is it? In God We Trust, plastic surgery disasters. It was a CD that circulated around my circle of friends for years and years. But I think that might have just been on CD. But yeah, so this is the plastic surgery disasters. Probably my second favorite Dead Kennedys album. Pretty close to, no, okay, first is solid, second is solid, and the rest kind of go up and down. But yeah, this is a really great album, really fast. Great lyrics, catchy songs. Give Me Convenience. I think this is just a compilation. I don't know exactly what the compilation is because I have most of these tracks on other albums and I can't really think. It could just be best of kind of thing. It's good. I think I picked this up for like 20 bucks new. I do have my favorite one. Not this. Frankenchrist, later Dead Kennedys. Didn't really know much about this one. Not that I was listening to them when this came out, but I literally, the first Dead Kennedys album I heard, actually, no, I'll do that one last. So we'll take the In God We Trust Inc. out. This one's okay. Kind of in the middle, maybe towards the top, but not my favorite. Because this is my favorite. Fresh Fruit for Rotting Vegetables. My buddy had this on CD, and when I was kind of like struggling, not even struggling to get into, but I did not like new school punk at all. And one of my older punk buddies, he's like, yeah, man, new school punk sucks. Borrow these CDs. And one of them he gave me was this, another was an Angry Samoan CD. And yeah, just loved it. That got me into that old school scene. So this is one of the first records I ever bought. I think I bought this in like 95 or 96. Nothing really special about it. It's not a first press. It's not a second press, I don't even think. But one of the first records I ever bought. And this is kind of a cool little novelty album that I picked up at a different record show. I think it was $10 the guy charged me for it. Cha-Cha with Cha-Cha with Mr. Fluoride, Klaus Fluoride from Dead Kennedys, of course. Just some weird little novelty record that he did that is also on Alternative Tentacles, actually. I don't even know if I've ever put this, or no, I think I put it on once and it just wasn't what I was expecting it to be, a Cha-Cha record, but it's not, unfortunately. But it's still cool. Klaus Fluoride, Dead Kennedys. Gotta love them. Anyway, there you go. Ran a little over the 20-ish minutes that I wanted, but nothing too significant. Thank you so much for watching. If you're still sticking around, I appreciate it. Got to do some more videos. My views are really, really low, but I kind of had to start from scratch, and I'm not connecting it to my fragrance account anymore because that's kind of dormant and gone. Anyways, thanks so much, everybody, and I'll see you all again soon.